Hey Solar Family! So the strongest message I'm getting today, and this goes for me as well, is you've been given a magic wand, now use it. So I said, do I have permission to interact with all of you? Yes. And then I said, may I please speak with the strongest mage on my stream? And then my 8D appeared. She is from the Orion Nebula. And I asked what race or star race is she? She said, part Mantid, part Anunnaki, Mutt. I said, oh, well, we Mutts are healthy. So I was like, if you are 8D, you've already ascended through the 7th, correct? She said, correct. And said, can you briefly explain about the 7 triangulation thing and why I keep getting Christ and 33 in relation to this? And she said, it's a prime thing. You know, prime creator. Now, the dimensional structure goes back and forth through polarity. Oh, this is me asking. Until what I perceive as the higher dimensions. She said, correct. You are currently living in an even or self-service dimension. I have heard that technology is a difference between the two. What's another difference? And she said, movement. The top of the tree moves towards the light, and the roots grow towards gravity or love, even though it's all one and the same. And she said, as far as Master Jesus in your mythos, he was prime. He chose the light every time. But with a tree with no roots would fall. And I was like, well, what are we choosing? And she said, the dance. And I said, thank you. And I wanted a more general answer, so I went, do I have permission to interact with my stream in general again, or whoever has my highest light in mind may communicate as well? And they said, by the 7th dimension, we have so many components of our higher self, all of which we can immediately access in so many different dimensional polarities that we once again have to sublimate into the core in order to balance and ascend. And I said, is every being in 7D like a time traveler or mage or shapeshifter? And they were like, imagine we have internalized every zodiac polarity and every gender or sexual polarity. And there is a reason Jesus is associated with 7, because he has learned to triangulate. The Nicene Council was deceptive. So this goes back to when they decided Jesus was 100% man, 100% God. Because his number, master number 33, is the 3rd. So he wasn't just half and half. He lived a 3rd of life for humanity, a 3rd of life for source, and a 3rd of life for self-consciousness. Then I asked, how do you define self-consciousness? And they said, self-consciousness is that self-projection, not only to the minds and hearts of others, but the future and your higher aspects. It is both 5, call open, and 6, frequency, and knowing oneself through others, and F, knowing oneself through others, and N, self-awareness, God knowing itself through you. And that totally reminded me of Pixar theory. If you guys don't know Pixar theory, look it up. But in all the Pixar movies, there's always some component of, like, either the people were remembered and that way they lived on or something like that. So it reminded me of that. And then since I was like a little worried, I'm like, oh, I'm not famous or anything. They're like, do not be worried if you have had any contact with a higher form of yourself, which you probably have. Your self-consciousness will be remembered. And this is how roots grow. Density matches density to descend down and search strategy. So, love. Love is gravity and density. So these, I'll explain that later. Grow and switch. So I looked up how roots grow. And basically there's these heavy particles that are attracted downwards, and then they do this grow and switch pattern where they go back and forth looking for which way is down. And it's like 90% accurate. So they compared that to our dynamic between service to self and service to others. The 3rd triangulation, which we have termed self-consciousness, is what you project out into the mirror. Do not worry, this does not mean you have to be famous, they said. It is actually great for those of you who are creative. The internet has helped you in this way. You treat your projected personalities into the ether how you would like to be observed, combining this with all your gifts 10,000-fold, and every material thing you have desired while you were here, and all of your fantasies come to life. This is how how you should see the power of 7. The ego literally becomes super in the 7D movie that is you. We will explain more on the Fisher of Men thing later. Like, okay? And I was like, I came back to it, and I was like, lastly, the message discernment is coming across loud and clear from both of you, and I feel like that's why a lot of us kind of wanted to just kind of process a little bit more today. Even though we have this brand new start after 11/11, it's like, well, we're just being told discernment, and I'm being very careful about what I'm watching and allowing into my vibration today. So I was like, well, if everyone's so hesitant to paint the canvas, what do you consider discernment to be? And they're like, and I asked them both my Mage and Master Jesus, and they were like, being mindful of what you think and feel, the environment you create around you, the lightness of your vibration. And then I said, what is the best way to use our discernment to hook love? And they said, go with what feels right in your heart. And then I took feels right in your heart and I translated that into this language. And that equates to frequency portal love, radiate self-source, infinitely bridge ascension. Self-source, you flip, end separation. Core, you are the bridge that calls open, alpha, and radiates ascension. So the explanation of all that was, when you fall in love, it creates a way for you to ascend. By claiming your sovereignty and looking at things from other angles, you connect to God's source, and it raises the frequency of those around you. And then I said, thank you. And that is all. All right, that gave me some more clarity on 7. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a great night. Bye.